And there we go. So, welcome all to IFB Exclusive. I'm your host, New York Pete. I hope you're ready for the inside track from one of our really, really cool guests, who also happens to be an award-winning bestseller and executive creative producer at IFB, none other than Dr. Chris McAuley. And we're going to get into some very cool things. Chris, welcome back to IFB Exclusive.
It's like I never leave. Isn't it?
Hey, what the heck?
That's it. That's it.
Well, we love it. Thanks everyone for joining us live. George Giacomis, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. So as you guys come up, I'm going to, like we usually do, is call out. Thank you, everyone. You know that this show is a lot smaller than our regular one. Chuck is on. How's it going, guys? It's going great, Chuck. We are going to discuss some really cool things that Dr. McAuley's involved in, including, the Star Trek franchise and his little piece of what he's doing with them. And then, of course, another international franchise, another one of the big ones that Dr. McAuley's really, really a big fan of as well, and that's of course Doctor Who. And then I think, and then we'll sprinkle it in. I think I'll try to pull some other, those secrets that he can never hold back out of him. And then we're going to talk about a little bit, tease out the project that he's got going with Jack Stauffer. So it's really cool. Sean, thanks for joining us live. Thanks everybody for watching later on. Erica, thank you for joining us. I'm here, of course, with none other than the Dr. Chris McAuley. Doc, thank you for joining me here on IFB Exclusive.
You find me? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. So you're quite the busy man always, not just now or later or yesterday. You're like always busy.
No, I'm just coming off my day job. I work for a company, Implicit Conversions, and we tech retro games and bring them modern systems. So I've been doing various things for systems like PlayStation and things like that. So I'm just coming from that job to here to discuss my writing hobby.
Well, yes. So I want to thank you for going the extra mile. I know that your commute from work to now being here is
it's quite a distance. Yeah, it's quite a distance, as many people will know.
Okay. Well, enough of the levity. I'm gonna bring up. Let's jump right into this. You mentioned this to me yesterday, and here it is. This cover was just released, and it's in previews. It's Star Trek Explorer. This is the universal cover for the Star Trek magazine, the official Star Trek magazine.
Yes.
And if you look up in the upper left-hand corner, and I did a little bit of a blow up, you'll see that Chekhov's Challenge, which you are listed right there, along with Walter Koenig and Chris McAuley for writing that. It's official. It's, from what I understand, it's part of the canon. So
it's now part of canon. So it's a story that's set between Wrath of Khan and Search for Spock. And it focuses very much on Chekhov's feelings of guilt after Wrath of Khan and what happened there. And a lot of it's based on, heavily influenced by Walter's biographies that he's written. And there are elements in there, if you go and you check them out, where he talks about what Gene Roddenberry had in plan for the character, that the character of Chekhov was actually going to be, scientific like Spock, and Spock was going to be his mentor. And you don't really see that very much, unfortunately, in what comes through in the TV show and the films. But I wanted to bring that into the story, and very much a tribute to what Walter's done in his portrayal of Chekhov throughout the decades now. and to Gene Roddenberry's original vision of Chekhov. I wanted to help that lead through. And I was very much assisted by the editor of Star Trek Explorer magazine, John Freeman. He has been the editor for Star Trek magazine for over 30 years now.
Wow.
But I do have a piece of sad news. This is issue 13. After issue 14, Star Trek magazine and Star Trek Explorer will be no more.
Oh, wow. So you're in the second to last issue then?
I'm in the penultimate issue.
Wow.
And then I have, this year, I have another Star Trek product coming out, which is actually we'll talk about that at another stage, but it's actually, it's a historic Star Trek publication. It's never been done before. And it's on pre-sale at the minute, but we'll talk about that in December whenever it actually comes out.
Cool. Okay. And I mean, this is not the first time you've been involved with Star Trek and the franchise itself, both in the writing world and as well as, you know, there's other series that you're involved in. And hopefully when the rest of the Star Trek television series comes out, we'll be back talking more about that and your involvement. So we'll leave it that. And Charlene, thank you for joining us live. I'm here with none other than Dr. Chris McAuley, and we're just discussing a little bit of the news that I received yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Was it yesterday?
It was yesterday. My wife was very excited about it also.
Yeah, it was cool.
You know,
I'm gonna go back and show there.
It's nice
Boom.
to have that.
Look at
nice
that.
to have that. And look, sharing a cover with Worf, Michael Dorn.
Oh, yeah.
So that's nice. But, you know, Explorer magazine has so many great articles and different short stories and stuff in there as well. You know, so there's a lot of heart and love with the Star Trek in print. I mean, I can't keep up with the TV shows and series and all the video games and stuff that's out there. I just started playing Star Trek Online the other day. And I mean, that's been going for about 16 years now, maybe 17 years. There's
that's
17 years of content.
Yeah.
But
Sean Shallow from Battlestar Bulletin Board, he says, congratulations.
Thank you very much, Sean.
Yep, appreciate that. So again, guys, we're having a quick talk with Dr. McAuley, giving us the scoop on some of the things that he's involved with. So this is Star Trek Explorer. I believe this is issue 13. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Issue 13 coming out on October, I believe October 30th.
Okay, and this is the Universal magazine that is published and released around the world.
Yeah.
So you guys, you know, sometimes you go into a Barnes and Noble or wherever. I mean, magazines are unfortunately not sold everywhere, but you know that if you go into the big book chains, you're going to see this, whether it's in North America or in, I believe, probably all of EU. I'm sure
it's worldwide. It's published by Titan, and I believe Penguin Random House as well publish it.
That is so cool.
So that's nice. But yeah, there's.
I did it there. I did a little close up because I wanted everybody to be able to see that up in the upper left-hand corner. There you are you're named, which is so cool. Congratulations on yet another level of, right? You just keep leveling up, which is awesome.
Well, it's I'm very lucky. I mean, when I wrote this last year, I kind of wrote it and sent it in to the editor, John Freeman, and he liked it. And then it goes to the Paramount executives, and then they have to like it as well. There has to be that official stamp from Paramount. And there's the little backwards and forwards of lore changing, because we have to be very careful about the lore with the films and with the franchise.
Interesting.
So you do get that little, whenever you're writing for something like Star Trek, you do get that little backwards and forwards. Because the lore is very important, especially for original series. Original series lore, you know,
so
a lot of it.
You said just a couple minutes ago that it's so cool that you're actually you have a great cover. You know, that is Michael Dorn. It's Worf.
Yeah.
And that's from, I believe that's from Picard. And I mean, there's articles that cover the entire, actually all of the franchise. So Do me a favor, Doc, and
Oh, it's just me now. I wasn't expecting that. Pete has disappeared, but the slideshow continues. I suppose so should I. So we're going to talk a little bit about this thing called Probe. Now, Probe is a spin-off of Doctor Who. It's a spin-off of Unit. And it's something that's been around now since the wilderness years of Doctor Who. It's around about probably 1991, 1992. And when I was a kid, growing up, I used to get Doctor Who magazine, or more accurately, my mother used to get me Doctor Who magazine, and I would read through it. And there was no Doctor Who on television, so this was my only way of learning about Doctor Who. Oh, he returns! There he is. So I used to see these adverts for BBV's videos, and they did a whole series of these different videos. Starred various doctors like John Pertwee, Sylvester McCoy, Colin Becker, and they had this series that was licensed by the BBC called Probe, and Probe is like the paranormal department of Unit. And Liz Shaw, played by the actress, Caroline John, she had been the third Doctor's assistant. So she came on as the head of Probe. And there's various movies that are on BBV sites, 90-minute films, that feature some of the actors who played the Doctor and stuff. They're quite horror driven. It's more of a horror driven universe than Unit is. But this is the series that a few famous Doctor Who writers and directors have cut their teeth on. Now, BBV's owned by Bill Baggs. Bill Baggs created the Probe series way back in the 90s, and it has come back now in the last few years. So I've been very lucky to work with BBV. I've written various Stokerverse audio dramas that they've put out that have been voiced by a lady who likes professionally to be known as Sam Underhill. And I've also written Probe audio dramas. One of them was called Guardian of the Gates. And these audio dramas, they have beautiful covers created by a young chap called Warren Green. In fact, the Guardians of the Gate one has a Lovecraftian cover that changes. I think it's slightly holographic or something like that. So I had Probe meets Lovecraft. This is a slight sequel to that, and it features a brand new alien race that I've created. Ooh. And we have a wonderful special effects chap called James Lee, who utilizes all sorts of tech to bring these things to life. And there's also a Doctor Who spin-off they do called Faction Paradox, which, if you've watched the latest series of Doctor Who and you've seen Sutekh, the Destroyer, that Sutekh is actually part of the Faction Paradox universe. So Faction Paradox is extremely complicated, and it's written by Trevor Spencer. I have not dipped my toes into it yet, so I can't talk a lot about it. But it's another slight spin-off from the Doctor Who universe, like Probe.
Now, Probe it's authorized, right? Is this canon or not?
It is canon. Yeah, it's canon. Doctor
Wow.
Who. If you go to Doctor Who wiki, you'll see it there. But yeah, it's produced by BBV, not BBC. And yeah, it's a homage to classic Doctor Who.
Wow.
Not new Who, but classic Doctor Who.
We have the video portion of this Probe Portents of Doom that we're going to share with everyone as an IFB exclusive. Hey, Baz, how's it going? Good morning to you. Thank you for tuning in. I'm here with Dr. McAuley talking Doctor Who, and you jumped on at the right time because I am going to bring up the video that was created. It's a short film created around Portents of Doom, and then we'll come back and we'll discuss it. So let me get that up, and we are going to play this. So there. And that was very cool.
Yeah, so as you can see, it's a homage to the classic Who.
Yeah,
you know, it's very much in that vein.
So this is it's an actual teaser for.
Oh, it's a film.
Yes,
yeah, it's a teaser for the film.
For what? Where do we go with this? Tell me that there's more to this. Tell me the rest of this.
So, yeah, like this will be up on the BBV site. You'll be able to get this and download it. It's a full-length movie, which nowadays is hard to do and hard to
Absolutely.
budget.
Yeah.
So fair play to Bill to getting that done. And another thing about BBV, a lot of people don't realize, guys like Mark Gatiss, they started it with Probe. So Mark Gatiss, who wrote a lot of the New Who stuff, he wrote Sherlock with Stephen Moffat. They all worked on Probe with Bill Baggs as well. So for me, it's a great privilege to work with Bill. I'm learning an awful lot from him, as those guys did, and it's lovely to have a credit with him on there because of what he's done for fans of Doctor Who during the wilderness years when there was no Doctor Who. There was no Doctor Who from 1989 to 96, and then no Who from 96 to 2005. And those are the periods I grew up in. I grew up with that, and BBV kept the torch alive for a lot of Whovians back then.
So, Doc, let me get this straight. So this is going to be a feature-length film?
Yeah.
And it's going to be released exclusively through BBV, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So we would be able to go to BBV where I'm gonna put a plug in for our
you can get
quiz
this
book.
You can get this book as well.
Yeah. Right. So thank you to BBV and you for getting that and getting that together and getting that published. So BBV publishes books and they do audio dramas and they do exclusive videos.
They'll do so they've been licensed to do Zygons, the Brigadier from Units.
Okay.
So you'll get Brigadier stories in there. They've done Sontarans, Rutans.
Nice.
All of those kind of characters.
The Brigadier from Tom Baker's Doctor.
Yeah, that's it. Again, it's most of the stuff that we work on BBV is a homage to classic Who. Even we've even got the Wirren from Ark in Space, the horrible creatures that start to take over Noah, and in a Tom Baker serial, Ark in Space, we've taken those creatures and we started to extrapolate stories out from that.
Wow.
But yeah, there's a lot of other original content as well on BBV, and it's extremely hard to get anybody now who will finance a science fiction film or books, based on. It's hard. It's actually hard to get anybody who's interested in classic Who and public.
That's a shame. It really is a shame.
Yeah, because it's seen as the age of the show, and you might get books that are out that are about the Fifth Doctor or Sixth Doctor or Seventh Doctor, but they're very much told from the modern Who
Okay.
standpoint, and not necessarily the classic Who bent. So those stories now that are coming out with the older Doctors, they've got some of the new Who lore sort of shoved in there. We won't go into what I think about that, but
so this is the Probe, The Portents of Doom by yourself, right? Chris McAuley and Bill Baggs.
Yes.
This is the film finished? Is it or this is the teaser that's coming out for?
I think it is actually finished. I'm not sure. Wow. I'm not sure,
okay.
But I think it's finished. I think it'll be coming out very soon. It'll be coming out before the end of the year.
Okay, before the end of the year, it will be available at BBV, and you have first credit as writer of this actual film.
Yes.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yes,
that is very cool.
You know, I'm very young when it comes to like, as I've said this a couple of times, very young when it comes to like screenplay writing and all of that kind of stuff. So this has been the year I really started screenplay writing. Now, eagle-eyed people in the trailer will notice Simon Fisher Becker in that, who was Delorian Moldovar in Matt Smith's. Yep. So we keep the tradition alive of bringing in Doctor Who actors into Probe and into the works we do.
That's cool.
And I'm working with Simon on an actual Doctor Who audio at the minute with his character. So
really?
We are working on that together.
Is that going to be through BBV as well?
No.
Oh.
No, that will be
not exclusive.
BBV do not have the license to the Doctor.
Oh.
Or Dorian Moldovar. No.
Okay.
So it will be that'll be going out through the channels that have the license for the Doctor.
Wow, that's great news. All right. Well, you know, you're constantly working on, aside from your day job, you always have these other gigs that you're doing with some of the biggest franchises or the biggest in sci-fi, whether it be Star Trek, whether it be Doctor Who. You've done Star Wars, and I would imagine that at some point you're going to be revisiting your Star Wars connection. You've been involved now with the Battlestar Galactica connection and the Stokerverse. I know that there are things in the Stokerverse that you'll be working on, or you continue to be working on and releasing, and some really big things which we've kind of touched upon on our regular IFB Interfleet broadcasting. You've actually, been working on other really big stuff, and we're looking forward to release dates, or at least when you can talk about those, because by next year, there's going to be some really cool stuff out there by major production companies that you are directly involved in, which is so cool. However, before as we slowly make our way into the last act of IFB exclusive, I wanted to now talk about another exclusive project that you're working on. You're involved now heavily in the classic Battlestar Galactica. We had Jack Stolfer and Lorette Spang and Eric Larson on the IFB anniversary. It's a IFB and a Battlestar Galactica anniversary, and so IFB is obviously in its 5th year, and we had all 3 of them on, which was great. I don't think that's been done before in terms of streaming, to have all 3 of them on, so that was really cool. Lorette spoke to Eric Larson, and when she said she hadn't really seen him in decades, so that was a first. However, you're also kind of involved in writing a lot of these new stories, which you're putting a lot of stories, whether it's Warhammer, and I believe you might be getting into a little bit of the Warhammer stuff.
Yes.
And because which is, I mean, some of your stories are really cool. Not some, all of them. All of your stories are cool, and you're putting them out. But this thing with Jack Stoffer, you're kind of kind of pulling him out of the shadow, and Lieutenant Bojay seems to be getting a little more attention these days through your help. So can you tease us with a little bit of something?
I was on the phone with Jack last Thursday for about 2 hours
Okay.
because the man had so many stories. Now, when
Oh,
you're
yeah.
when you're on the phone with somebody, obviously you pay attention to their voice. So you listen to Jack's voice, and he's got this classical trained
Yep.
voice,
Yep.
which is very appealing. It's very easy to listen to, and there's a weight of experience
Mhm.
in what he says, and that's I find it captivating listening to him talk about all his bits and pieces. So I give him a proposition that I would write an audio for him,
Oh, wow.
and it'll be linked to
There we
IFB,
go. Okay. Thank you.
and we'll hope that this will be ready. If we get the talents of Mr. Tipsy Toaster involved, then
Yes.
maybe this will be ready for Halloween, because it's not a Battlestar story.
No, it's not.
It is actually a story linked to another franchise that I co-own.
Yes, and it's something that falls perfectly in line with Halloween. And so let's just quickly remind everybody, all the fans out there, that Jack is doing an exclusive private signing. We're gonna have IFB has worked it out with. We convinced Jack Stauffer that there are many fans out there that still want to get his autograph. So we're sponsoring this to help Jack out. And there's going to be a choice, one of A, B, or C 8x10 photos that you can have personalized by Jack. And then we're going to ship this out to him, have them all signed, and then we will ship those out individually to anybody that that's interested in purchasing these, and they will be made available at a very competitive rate. These are not going to be, nobody's. We're going to try to make sure that the bulk of what we are asking for is to go to Jack as if he were doing it at a regular show, and whatever little bit is left is basically to produce these we have to actually have these pictures made up, and then there's going to be a shipping charge, of course. But this is the only time that Jack's not able to get the conventions. He said he's not going to be doing any more, and so we convinced him, and we definitely have met the number, Chris, that he was looking for.
Yeah.
So this is definitely happening. But in case anybody wants to jump in, go to IFB, Interfleet Broadcasting, and pledge. And then what we're going to do is we're going to round up all those names, and then we'll start working out some the payment, and putting out the prices and everything else, and the pictures that we're going to have. There's going to be at least one, if not two, of the three are specifically favorites that Jack Stauffer had taken. So now we're going to wrap this up with Doc, your the audio that you're doing, I think, will be a part of that, which is really cool. And I'm going to then divulge that you wrote a story that we might be able to exclusively share with the fans that pledge and pay for the autograph. Will be getting an exclusive Lieutenant Bojay BSG story written by Dr. McAuley.
Yeah, and Jack loved the story, which is nice.
Excellent.
So
Excellent.
that was why we were chatting last Thursday, and why I was late for IFB last Thursday night.
You are pardoned. You are pardoned.
Yeah, great, fantastic. But it's all those things. I mean, once you get Jack talking, you can't get him off.
Yeah, you can't. We'll
be doing a show with him, and none of us will have to actually turn up.
No, we can
We'll
just
just start the
press play
show,
and let
press
let
play,
him go.
and let him go. And
That
he's one of television and film and theater greats.
oh,
Like
absolutely.
his theater work, those stories are also they're incredible. Or as much as we love Battlestar, um,
Yeah, he is super talented.
he's done a lot of entertainment work in the
Oh,
entertainment
absolutely.
industry. So there we go.
Dr. McAuley, thank you very, very much for taking the time out.
Thanks for having me.
You came from, work to jumping on to doing this, plus all the other things you do. Thank you, thank you, thank
No
you.
props.
And we're looking forward to you guys. Please tune in on Thursdays at 8 o'clock Eastern time. We do live streaming on IFB Interfleet Broadcasting. So fans fuel the fleet, everyone. Keep the faith. Thank you to everybody for tuning in now live, and thanks to everybody that watches this later on. Our show, the numbers are really staggering, and we thank you all. Thank you very much for watching. Appreciate it. Dr. McAuley, last words.
Thanks for watching, folks, and we'll probably see you again on Thursday. We've got a great show lined up on Thursday, so we'll see you on Thursday.
Take care, everybody.
Bye,
Stay
folks.
safe.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.